So once you have applied your material, you can actually right click on it and select texture position. Now this box appears. You can rotate it or distort it. You do this for images where you try to apply it in a perspective manner along the plane. So try not to do this for now. So that's a little bit more advanced topic. But here you can actually rotate this. So if you want your sidings to go vertically, you can do that. And in fact, even scale it up or down. Oops, too much rotation. So you can do that. And likewise, you can move this. So if you want this to start at a certain line, you may do so. Okay. So let me rotate it back. And you can always move this so that it aligns to, let's say, your window or the beginning of your wall at the bottom or at the top. So you can always adjust this using that tool. Okay. So just right click outside to get out of that option. So again, right click, texture position. Then you can always reset the position. Okay. Another thing that you can do here is, of course, edit the image. So you can edit the image. That's the image right there. But to edit, you really need to go here under the Edit tab. So that's the image that is currently selected. You can change the size of the image. Currently, they're linked. So any change I do for one dimension, horizontal or vertical, will also be changed in the other. If you want a separate dimension for the two, you simply need to unlink this. Okay? And of course, you can also make it opaque or transparent. So you can change the transparency of that material. Normally, you use this for your for water or your glass materials. So let's change this. Let's just say 1 meter. So I'll just say 1. Enter. And notice that it changed a little bit. Let's make the change bigger. So let's say 2. And notice that it really made that bigger difference. So to be exact, you want to edit using this editing window. Okay? And of course, you can also change color. So if you want to bleach your lumber a little bit to a different color, you may also do that. And you can always reset the color. Okay? So changing color, changing the size, unlinking. So let's say you want one to be 2, and let's say the vertical just set at 1. Okay? So you can also do that. 2 by 1. And you can only do that if you unlink this. Now, once you have linked it again, if I change this to, let's say, 4, right, the horizontal will also change in proportion to the measurement. Okay, so let me bring this back to 2. So there, it's a square. So the texture, this texture is what we're measuring, 2 by 2. Right? So if it's a brick material, sometimes it's a lot makes a lot more sense when you're editing the distance or dimension, so that you know how tall several courses of bricks are. So let's say I apply a new material. So let me go back to select, and I apply a brick material. So here, if I know the dimension of this particular wall and go to the Edit tab, currently each texture, before it repeats, the horizontal distance is 1.47 and the vertical distance is 0.94. So if you think that's not the proper size of the brick, then you can adjust here. So let's say I'll just make this 2, and that should be adjusted. Okay. And then you can also do a measuring tool and say this one here currently is 0.36. In real life, how tall should that be? So you can make adjustment accordingly. Okay, so using your tool, adjust this, and likewise, if you need to, you can go back and go back to your bucket tool, right click, texture, position, and move this around. Okay, especially for brick, you might want to start right there, the corner. That's the first brick that you're going to lay, or maybe like so. Okay, or maybe do you want it midway, or maybe start there? If you have a foundation footing, where do you want to start this? So that's an important tool right there. And I don't think you want to rotate your brick, but if you do, then you may do so. I think I find some envelope with bricks on in a vertical, so that's also doable. Okay,